Hello, everyone. I'm CC Movie. Having someone by your side in the lowest moments, and realizing that a farewell was just a false alarm, these are the two most touching things about youth. They're never the smooth sailing highlights of life. Instead, they're those moments when you've hit rock bottom and are plagued by self-doubt. Yet someone sees right through your heart and quietly catches you. Or when you think you're about to say goodbye to everything you love and cherish, only to discover in the end that all your reluctance and panic were just a false alarm. The story begins on the eve of the team tryouts. Everyone is full of anticipation and ready to go, except for Marty's best friend, Willow, who is in the midst of an unprecedented slump. Willow is the school team's star pitcher, known for her bold, decisive style and unerring accuracy on the field. She is universally recognized as a natural talent who effortlessly controls the rhythm of the game. But during that period, she was a completely different person. She made frequent mistakes in practice. Her pitches were erratic, her performance was inconsistent, and she was listless and downcast. Even the field she knew so well felt unfamiliar. Her teammates were all puzzled, but only Maddie, who spent every moment with her, quietly saw through the secret her best friend was hiding deep in her heart. It turned out that even this unstoppable powerhouse on the court couldn't escape the clumsy, confusing flutters of adolescence. Willow's inner turmoil and slump weren't due to a decline in skill at all, but because someone had taken up residence in her heart, Joey. A young girl's feelings are always delicate yet awkward. Whenever Willow stepped onto the court, and her gaze fell on her friend Maddie, Joey's face would automatically pop into her mind. Those uncontrollable feelings of affection, and the fluttering excitement she couldn't put into words quietly disrupted her focus. While she loved the field where she poured out her sweat, she was also succumbing to the tender pangs of first love. Torn between the two, she found herself completely consumed by inner turmoil, unwilling to give up her beloved dream of playing softball, yet unable to control the fluttering emotions in her heart. Her daily inner turmoil has sent the once confident and radiant Willow spiraling into a deep slump. Watching herself make mistake after mistake, Willow's heart is filled with self-doubt and anxiety. She even begins to wonder if she'll ever regain her former form. Maddie watched her best friend's dejected and despondent state with deep concern. She understood all too well the tug-of-war of adolescence on one side, a passion pursued with all one's might, on the other, an unexpected flutter of the heart, a combination that could easily throw anyone off balance. She didn't mock her friend's sensitivity, nor did she offer half-hearted comfort. Instead, she patiently stayed by Willow's side, helping her untangle her emotional knots bit by bit. Maddie gently told Willow that love is never a burden that drags down one's dreams. True growth lies in learning to distinguish between a crush and a passion. A youthful crush can be tucked away in the heart as a source of gentle confidence, but one must not let emotions destroy the dream they've been pursuing day after day. With Maddie's companionship and guidance, Willow slowly rediscovered her original passion. She finally learned to put her teenage feelings in their place, let the excess anxiety settle, and refocus on the competition. It turns out that the best friendship isn't just icing on the cake. It's having someone who understands your vulnerability when you're emotionally shattered and at your lowest point, and who stays by your side to help you rediscover your inner radiance. Meanwhile, Liv is also going through her own struggles. Having always been determined to pursue her dream of becoming an actress, she had been eagerly anticipating landing the role in Space Werewolf, hoping to break free from her on-screen stereotype as a sweet young girl and prove she could pull off a wild, ruggedly handsome new style. But reality dealt her a heavy blow. The production company ultimately rejected her, giving a blunt and hurtful reason: they felt a woman couldn't carry the rugged aura of a tough werewolf. This rejection dealt a severe blow to the usually confident Liv. Resentment and disappointment spread unchecked within her. She refused to accept being defined or dismissed. So, after receiving the full set of werewolf costumes, she stubbornly insisted on shooting promotional photos, determined to shatter the prejudice with her talent and prove her versatility. Just then, a morning food show came to interview her. With these two events colliding, Liv found herself running around frantically. On one hand, she was driven by an obsession to turn the tables and prove herself. On the other, she had to handle the public appearance with composure. Under such pressure, she was filled with anxiety, terrified that another mistake would completely negate all her efforts. As teenagers, we're always particularly sensitive to others' opinions. A single word of criticism, or a single failure, is enough to shatter all our resolve. Liv's stubbornness and persistence are simply the embodiment of every ordinary person's refusal to give up. Just as everyone was slowly climbing out of the slump and getting back on track, a sudden fear of separation swept through the entire Rooney household. leading to a tender yet hilarious mix-up. A severe beetle infestation suddenly struck the house, making it completely uninhabitable. The parents discussed temporarily moving the whole family out to stay elsewhere while the house was fumigated, planning to return once it was cleaned up. Yet a few casual remarks in their daily conversation were taken out of context by the children eavesdropping upstairs, sparking a full-scale panic. Everyone mistakenly believed the family was moving away permanently, transferring schools, and leaving the small town where they'd lived for years. This simple misunderstanding instantly magnified the reluctance and panic in every child's heart. For Maddie, it was the most agonizing of all. At that moment, she had just begun to develop a budding crush on the boy she liked, DG, and her heart was filled with sweet, innocent dreams. This small town held her soccer field, her closest friends, and the tender feelings she had been carefully guarding. The thought of leaving here for good, heading to an unfamiliar city, never seeing the person she liked again, and never returning to the familiar school and playing field left Maddie with a bitter, aching heart, filled with regret and reluctance. She didn't want to leave with regrets. She didn't want the budding beauty of their relationship to fizzle out because of a sudden move. After countless moments of hesitation and anxiety, she finally mustered all her courage, approached DG, and confessed her feelings. These young, inexperienced teens, testing the waters and moving toward each other, finally revealed the secrets in their hearts and officially became a couple. In that moment, all her panic turned into gentle certainty. Even though parting was imminent, at least she had lived up to their meeting and the flutter of her heart. As for Liv, looking at the familiar room and the small town that held her entire childhood, her heart was filled with reluctance. This place held her childhood memories, the warmth of her family, and the ordinary, everyday moments of life. Having spent many years working on film sets far from home, she cherished her stable family life all the more. The thought of leaving everything familiar behind filled her with a sense of melancholy. She even feigned sadness. The space he had painstakingly built with her was his own private paradise, a source of unique joy. Upon learning they were moving, he grew anxious and reluctant, hastily filling in the tunnel to bid a proper farewell to his little world. Even the usually boisterous Joey put aside their daily bickering and rivalry, determined to settle an unfinished rocket bet with his arch-rival before leaving, putting a perfect period on his time in the small town. Each family member felt their own sadness and said their own goodbyes, earnestly preparing for what they believed was a permanent farewell, their hearts brimming with reluctance and regret. But just as everyone was packing their bags, hearts heavy with melancholy, and preparing to set off for an unknown new life, a single sentence from their parents instantly shattered all the sadness. They were only going away temporarily to stay somewhere else while the house was being fumigated. They never intended to move permanently. In an instant, all the anxiety, reluctance, and regret vanished into thin air, replaced by a bittersweet sense of relief. A grand farewell for the entire group turned out, from start to finish, to be nothing more than a charming misunderstanding.